It's an even playing field come Takeover Chicago. He's not scared of what Cage will do to him because he'll do the same back. He plans on breaking the machine and leaving as the NXT champion. Through the crowd came Mercedes Martinez with a steel chair to Tony Storm. A beatdown before Takeover for Storm to endure. Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is NXT. We are at the penultimate show before NXT TakeOver Chicago, and it is all to play for as we head into that evening before Money in the Bank. Another big night of action coming our way. Two big matches coming up here tonight. They've been sending messages one another's way over these last few weeks, but here tonight, Hideo Itami and Lio Rush meet one-on-one to kick off this evening's edition of NXT. That is going to be a very interesting one, so too will our main event. He's already heard from his challenger. Brian Cage, though, is not going to be focused on responding to Jeff Cobb through words, but through actions, as he faces EC3 in the main event of this evening. That is all to come up here on NXT, but as for right now, we kick things off with Hideo Itami and Lio Rush one-on-one. Like I said, it's been building over these last few weeks. They met in a tag match last week, and it seemed as if, for the most part, Itami had the upper hand. Now, he can try and prove it. He has stared down with Lio Rush. He watched first from backstage and then on the entrance ramp 2 weeks ago. Now, in the ring with one another. This one, I am very much looking forward to. Hideo Itami has done all he can to make sure that he is somehow in some way getting into the mind of Lio Rush, and now he gets to act on it as this matchup gets underway. Hideo Itami, you know, it's in many ways the same case as the NXT Women's Championship saga with Rhea Ripley. It feels as if there aren't really that many out there who are able to pose a challenge towards that title right now. And Hideo Itami taking the bull by the horns and making the most of the opportunity in front of him. I think it's the best way to put it. We'll see, though, if it ends up being a successful outing for Itami. Because this man, his opponent, the NXT Global Champion, is not someone for him to gloss over. It's not someone who you can easily put in the back of your mind, and it's certainly not someone who's going to be an easy win. Lio Rush, as I said, I've said this a few times now, ever since winning that Global Championship, he's matured immensely. It's happened to a lot of people, though. I mean, it reminds me of when Tyler Bate was the NXT champion. He was already incredibly mature, but when he had the belt, he grew even more. And the same is happening with Lio Rush with that NXT Global Championship, but this man has been trying to test him mentally. Much more than his ring-savvy mindset. Hideo Itami has been trying to test Lio Rush in the mind. He's been trying to see if Lio Rush can crack under pressure, and we'll see if that can happen here tonight as they meet one-on-one. Rush has had his time to think about the actions of Hideo Itami, to think about what it'll be like to share the ring with Hideo Itami. Now, here tonight, there's no thinking, there is only doing. He can no longer think about what is going to happen in this ring. He's got to make something happen here tonight as they meet one-on-one. Hideo Itami and Lio Rush finally sharing the ring. No tag partners, no distractions, no mind games. Well, maybe. We'll see. But it is just supposed to be these two guys one-on-one with one another to kick off this episode of NXT. Here we go. Rush going out of the gates with some shots there on Itami. Oh, brainbuster there. Didn't even get it vertical. Just dumped him on his head, but Itami quick to fight back. Kicks there, countered. Now Itami will look to try and strike back here. There we go. Irish whip reverse though by Itami. Ducks down. Leapfrog as well. And back body drop. Simple but effective. And again, maybe Itami could be bracing for something bigger. And Rush could have been bracing for something bigger, and Itami just kind of caught him out with it. Working on the arm right now. This is good stuff from Hideo Itami in the early goings, but the legs, I would argue, are the more important aspect of Lio Rush to take away. Good fight back there from Lio Rush. Gets him out of that one. Nice chop in the chest to go along with it. Irish whip by Rush now. Now he's the one to drop down. And he gets that drop kick in the face of Itami. Didn't have much time to look for the drop kick, but great stuff getting it. The speed of Rush there really helping him out. As he now is in a bit of control here in this contest, controlling the body of Itami, driving his arm into the mat, which is an intelligent move in all fairness. Hideo Itami will need his arms to get him up on the shoulders for the GTS. He'll hit that reverse GTS as well of his that he's been breaking out. He doesn't lift them up on the shoulders, but just brings them into a single knee. Big time power bomb delivered as well to the NXT Global Champion. Itami not messing around here, trying to just pummel Lio Rush into the mat. Cover made here on Rush, kick out at 1. Counter there, in the corner we go. Perching him up on the top rope here. Lio Rush looking to risk it all already. Looking to put everything on the line. Oh, this is going to be bad for both men. Avalanche Spanish Fly. Sweet goodness. Both men hitting hard on that one. Cover from Rush to put away Itami. Maybe a little bit too early in the match. And maybe too late going into the cover as well. That's why he kicked out so early and Rush went running into that knee lift there. Hideo Itami had it read and capitalized to the fullest extent. Elbow into the knee now. Itami goes up and over the top rope. Could be in trouble here. Forearm right in the face of Lio Rush. Staggers the champion. Looks for the kick, but gets the enziguri instead. And now comes a German suplex. Oh, great landing from Rush. And Itami giving him a look as he got up to his feet there. Lio Rush sticks the landing. And now the champ turning things around. Suplex. Oh, hang on. A little bit of Three Amigos coming out to play. Rolls over again and hits a trio of suplexes from Lio Rush there. Jawbreaker connects from Itami though in response. And now a suplex. Got him. Hideo Itami looked good with the Three Amigos, but Lio Rush looked good with the Three Amigos, but Itami with the ability to fight back. What a Death Valley driver there from Rush. Goes into the cover, and again, an early kick out from Itami. Rush is learning just how resilient Hideo Itami can be. He goes for another cover here. Itami kicks out early once again. Not really too sure why he went for another cover in all fairness, but it happens, I guess. Maybe he just was hoping that he could put him away with another one. What a headbutt there from Hideo. Kicking and striking away now on Lio Rush. That's where the danger of Itami comes in. At close range. Those strikes he's able to unleash. And now just willing to take any risk imaginable. He's taking Lio Rush up to the top rope here. What the hell could happen? Up on the top rope. Superplex maybe. No. Top rope Falcon Arrow to Rush. Goes into the cover. Will this put him away? It will! And a bit of stunned silence in the Hammerstone Ballroom. Hideo Itami has put away Lio Rush with a surprising victory. A move that I didn't even know if he'd go for the cover off, but he did, and he won with it. Itami just beat the global champion. No shenanigans. No cheating. No underhanded tactics. He beat him as plain as you like. And that makes pretty much one thing official. Hideo Itami is the #1 contender for the global title. My goodness. What a talking point to start off NXT, but now we've got another one coming up next. The NXT Women's Champion, Shirai, has something to say. And judging by the way she's storming to the ring already, she wants to get her point across as quickly as possible. And yes, indeed she does. She has a point to get across and a person to get it across to as well. Shirai wanting Rhea Ripley in the ring right now. Oh, this is already fairly interesting. Rhea Ripley making her way down towards the ring right now. It's been a talking point, like I said, at the during the first match, that Rhea Ripley is really the only woman left to challenge Shirai for that title. And yes, that could definitely be the case. But Rhea Ripley heading towards the ring right now with the intent of making sure that Io Shirai gets what she wants, and maybe with a further intent than just that to the champion, Rhea Ripley. What will she have to say here tonight to Io Shirai? She is soaking in all of this entrance right now. And if I had to take a shot in the dark, shall we say, I think they both have the same thing in their mind. They both want the same thing here, and that is to face one another. Here we go. Ripley takes the mic and saying that it's about time. She wants Shirai to give up right now. And if we know Io Shirai, we know she's not going to give up at all. Saying that, oh, well, there we go. She's put the challenge out there for Takeover. She wants to face Rhea Ripley for the title. And Ripley is glad she has come to her senses. It says that Shirai should get ready to say goodbye to the NXT Women's Championship. Shirai doesn't agree with that idea, though. Once Takeover's done, she'll be saying goodbye to Rhea Ripley, unless they want to find out right now. Io Shirai not afraid to challenge Rhea Ripley to a fight right here. Champion and challenger staring down before Takeover. Shirai wanted the fight. She's not going to get it, though. Ripley heading out of the ring. But it's official. They'll face a Takeover. Shirai and Ripley for the NXT Women's title. So one match down and 2 talking points. 2 matches made for Takeover. And there we have it, finally. Our card for NXT Takeover Chicago is complete. It will take place next weekend, and it will be a big one. Well. Finally, the 2 championship matches we were waiting on have been made official. Lio Rush and Hideo Itami, I mean, all it's waiting on is, well, I say it's been made official, all we're waiting on is just the final word. But Shirai challenged Ripley, and Ripley accepted. You can add them to the list of matches that will be taking place at TakeOver Chicago. Of course, the new foundation will be at TakeOver Chicago as well, and they'll be facing Broken Brilliance for the NXT Tag Team titles. We have been waiting for this one for a little while now, and here we go. I am looking forward to it. Just a week away from Bret Hart being able to try and say that it is going to happen. Being a week away from being able to say that his men, potentially, the NXT Tag Team Champions. That is all. There's all a chance of that happening next weekend at TakeOver Chicago. Of course, it's going to be a huge weekend with that happening. And then, of course, with Money in the Bank, still waiting to find out who will represent NXT in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Easy for me to say. But right now, we do focus on the number 1 contenders to the tag team titles. Of course, last week there was two singles matches that took place. It was made between Matt Hardy and Bret Hart, where they would face a random participant in each match. Noam Dar took on Jay Lethal and tapped out. Pentagon Jr. took on Brian Cage and was pinned. So not a good night for challenger or champion. Pretty much left them on an even playing field. They came into the night pretty much on an even playing field. They came out of it pretty much on an even playing field. Not much to talk about from either side. Now here's a chance for the new foundation to get back to winning ways here tonight in this tag team matchup. They're up against the New Day. Xavier Woods and Big E, of course. Kofi Kingston on ECW and frequently representing the New Day when possible. His friends, of course, who he's hoping to see one day up on the main roster once again. Big time move there from Nese in the early goings. Forearm in the face from Tony Nese, but wow, just see how then Nese just walked away. He just stepped back from that attempted dropkick there. That's the smart attitude of the premier athlete. That's got to be taught by Bret Hart as well. Don't try and always get involved in the offense. Just back away from it when it's intelligent too. Look out now, triangle, leg lock, elbow on the point of the head there from Xavier Woods. A very tough contest for either side. Knew they would like to cause a little bit of an upset heading into Takeover Chicago, beat the #1 contenders and maybe change the complexion of that match. They'd have to win here tonight in order for that to happen. Let's see what they're going to do now. Double arm drag there. Good stuff from Tony Nese and Noam Dar, who have made a very impressive duo since Bret Hart retired from in-ring action and called these two men his new foundation, his new philosophy of tag team wrestling, his new philosophy of what the Hart family is all about when it comes to fighting tag mate. Here comes Big E now, drop kick to the leg there. Big E didn't even come off his feet. Noam Dar, I think, is about to set out spine buster there. You know, wherever they are in their multiverse, Pentagon Jr. and Matt Hardy are going to be watching on, maybe thinking about how they can turn things around after last week's disappointing outcome for one half of the tag team champions. Maybe an easier said than done though. Uppercut there from Noam Dar, staggered Big E slightly, but not enough to take him off his feet. And again, Big E staying upright, making life incredibly difficult for Dar, who must weigh about 100 pounds less than Big E. Tony Nese now coming in off the tag. And Nese gets a gut-wrench suplex for his troubles. Big E proving to be an oh-so difficult obstacle right now for the new foundation to overcome, but a super kick will certainly take care of business. Kick in the gut here. What will we see from Big E? Nothing. Sunset flip from Nese. Great counter. Goes into the cover. Looking for victory here. Almost had him. Big E flipping it back over. Kick out. Great stuff from both sides there. Incredible agility from Big E. Oh, and now the power's coming out to play with no problems. Double backbreaker. Uh-oh. Strap yourselves in. Look at the height he got on that splash. Big E getting all of it. But Nese responds with a hurricanrana as well. This is great stuff right now. Nese with a measurement of control in this one. Xavier Woods going to tag himself in here now. What could happen? Oh, it's all falling apart. Dar charges into the ring. Quickly sent out of it by Xavier Woods. But oh, Woods sent it to Big E by Tony Nese. And now pump handle. Power bomb by Nese in the middle of the ring. Dar up to his feet on the outside, but the new foundation has claimed victory. It was a scrappy win for them, but it was a win nonetheless. The challengers claiming victory once again on the road to Takeover. There's only one show for them left between now and that match against the Broken Brilliance. And I gotta say, as it's getting closer and closer, the new foundation not looking as sleek and as refined as they once did. Maybe advantage to the champions. Maybe the pressure is getting to the challengers. A whole lot of maybes to throw into the hat there, but we move on now to our next contest of the evening. Shayna Baszler to go one-on-one against Mayu Iwatani here. This one could be a very interesting outcome. This one could be a very interesting match between these two women, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. Baszler last week took on the Shirai and really learnt the wrath of the NXT Women's Champion. Toni Storm certainly had a close eye on it as well. She was looking through the curtain, had an eye on the woman she'll be facing at NXT TakeOver Chicago. Shayna Baszler and Toni Storm, of course, will meet, and it is that woman accompanying Shayna Baszler to ringside who is pretty much responsible for why that match is going to take place. Mercedes Martinez, who made her statement message, sent as well with that chair shot to Toni Storm last week that you saw at the top of the evening. Baszler and Storm was a match first about disrespect. Now it's become a match about, well, I don't even know anymore. It's almost like any morals they shared went out of the window. It's almost like any reasoning just went out the window when Mercedes Martinez was brought into the picture. She has really turned this into much more of a deep-seated rivalry. Mayu Iwatani may be caught up in the middle of everything going on in the NXT Women's Division. We'll just be hoping for a little bit of a win here for her own cause. She comes towards the ring right now. She's had some great matches since coming to NXT, of course. The likes of Io Shirai for one. She had a little bit of a problem with Rhea Ripley as well. But Rhea Ripley was able to bounce back from that one and claim victory over in a 6-woman tag team matchup. But as for now, Mayu Iwatani ready to go here against Shayna Baszler. She comes out alone. No Toni Storm by her side. Maybe Storm has other plans in mind, or maybe Storm is still reeling from that chair shot. I arrived only just before the show went on the air, so I don't really know anything about backstage, and to be honest, it's not really my concern. It's not my locker room. But Shayna Baszler will be looking to bounce back from last week's defeat and to send a statement towards Toni Storm ahead of their meeting at Takeover Chicago. So here we go, the bell rings and we're underway here. Baszler, the heavier of the two women, the taller of the two as well. Iwatani got her work cut out if she wants a win here tonight, but I think that's how Iwatani likes it. She enjoys having to work hard to claim victory in her matches. Ropes, oh, just a tackle. Nothing flashy about that one, just took her off her feet and took her off the mat to go along with it. Oh, nice counter there by Iwatani, slipping off the shoulders there. What a chop in the chest. Baszler, though, shrugging it off and hitting hard in her own response. High knee there in the face. Gut punch there. Another, look at these gut punches from Baszler now. That mixed martial arts trained background of Baszler certainly helping her out. Oh, overhead kick, the axe kick down on the back of Shayna Baszler's head and neck. That's not going to do any favors. Forearms now for Iwatani, but they're not really doing much to rattle Shayna Baszler. But that vertical suplex will rattle Iwatani. Nicely done. Now, nope, no advantage there. I think Baszler going to wear down Iwatani with that camel clutch. Not happening though. Iwatani's foot in the ropes on that break, but this is all about for Baszler just beating Iwatani, recovering from last week, and sending a statement to Toni Storm. There's maybe no personal feelings to Iwatani, but she's in the way for the Queen of Spades. And of course, don't discount what Mercedes Martinez could do at ringside as well through the legs. Nicely done. Hurricanrana there. Up to her feet now. What'll happen here? Iwatani able to turn things around for herself. Can she keep on going? Yes, she can. There's that double-footed drop kick in the corner. She'll get it twice. But a training of chops shows just how much of an uphill battle it is for Iwatani to hope to claim victory this evening. Double knees in the back. And now a boot in the gut from Baszler. She is just overpowering Iwatani here. And this is what Storm has to look out for at Takeover. This is the danger of Baszler. Once she gets in control, you can be damn sure she ain't letting go. Cross armbar now on Iwatani. Middle of the ring. She's going to have to fight out of it if she wants to hang on in this one here. And she looks like she'll do so. Iwatani slips away out of the hold there. Thankful for her that she did. Kick in the leg. Running kick in the chest as well. Iwatani again will set herself in place. Will go between the legs once again and hit the Hurricanrana takedown. Shayna Baszler falls for it once again. That's going to frustrate her even more. And that might be something that Iwatani does not want to feel the wrath of, but she is sent up and over and out of the ring. Count begins now. And there is No response from Iwatani on the outside there, just almost lifeless. Maybe a little bit of a ruse. She brings Baszler in to the barricade there. And then into that LED board at ringside. Iwatani now getting a bit more reckless as this match progresses on. He's going to see that Iwatani able to take an initiative, able to almost play dead and pounce on the opportunity. What's she going to do now? Iwatani. Oh, splashing down on Baszler. My goodness. What a risky move for Iwatani. That probably hurt her as much as it hurt Baszler as well, but it paid off. Could it claim victory? Wow, Baszler kicking out early. A lot of time to recover, maybe helping her out there. Chop in the chest. Baszler responds with a cracking forearm. And now Shayna Baszler. Uh-oh. This isn't good. Gut-wrench suplex. And she'll hang on. She'll float over. And she'll hit another one. And one more for good measure. No, she goes into the cover. Looking to put away Iwatani. She kicks out. Hang on. Coming through the crowd. It's Toni Storm. Storm on Martinez. Storm getting revenge for last week. Assaulting Mercedes Martinez. Under the barricade goes Martinez. She's down and out. And Baszler with an eye on this. Storm. And Baszler staring down. And now into distraction. Has paid dividends for Iwatani. She rolls up Baszler. She rolls her up. She spins around. Toni Storm watches on. Mayu Iwatani has claimed victory. Give an assist and then some to Toni Storm, but it's Iwatani who's victorious. Toni Storm gets revenge for last week and gets another loss on the record of Shayna Baszler. Man, things are gonna be heated when Takeover rolls around for those two women. You can be damn sure of it. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on. We take our mind off from NXT TakeOver Chicago for just a moment, and we strap ourselves in for a fight. That's it. Prepare for what's going to be a highly entertaining scrap between these two men. Coming up next, Brody King, Josh Woods. Both men debuted around the same time in this universe. Both men coming in after WrestleMania, after NXT TakeOver New Orleans. And now they meet one-on-one. King has had a great start in his NXT career, yet to suffer a defeat. Woods started hot, but now as the opponents have got tougher, Woods has found himself starting to struggle a little bit more. King, on the other hand, last time we saw him in the ring, I think was Hangman Page. And I believe, well, yeah, he did come out with the victory. King, though, you know, he may be new to NXT, but that doesn't change the fact that King could be a big player at any point. I mean, it didn't take Brian Cage long to start claiming victims and start claiming his way towards that NXT championship. The same could be said for Brody King. Who really knows? What I know here tonight, though, is that this matchup between King and Josh Woods will be almost a who's the best of the new bunch. You know, with King, Woods, Gresham, those three men haven't come in recently to this universe. Jonathan Gresham, that is. And maybe it's about who is the better athlete out of all of these guys. Maybe we'll get our answer here tonight. Well, maybe not in terms of if anyone's better than Gresham. But these two guys, both incredibly bulky talents, both incredibly talented in their own ways. Brody King, much more of a hard-hitting kind of guy. Woods in many ways does share that hard-hitting aspect to him, but it's the mat wrestling of Josh Woods that you have to watch out for. Four-time All-American is Josh Woods, and he is going to demonstrate that here tonight. Brody King, I think, is a little heavier than Woods, but Woods is going to show that doesn't really matter all that much when he gets in that ring, when that bell rings. These two men are going to scrap with one another, and it's going to be all about who can stay on their feet the longest, not who can outsmart. Maybe it is going to be a bit of outsmarting, but it's mostly just going to be these two guys standing upright for a while, hitting each other for a while, and then one of the people will fall over and the other one will win. That's the only real way this match can be determined, is by who can stand on their feet the longest, who can endure the most punishment. Woods does have that mat wrestling background to him, but I have to argue that Brody King is going to be a hard guy to keep on his back. But if anyone could do it, Josh Woods could. So here we go. Woods also looking for a bounce back here. He's had a few tough losses to Michael Kanellis, to Tomohiro Ishii. Now he'll be looking to bounce back here against Brody King. So here we go between these two guys now. Knee in the gut there by Woods, and the collar elbow tie up. King able to counter out of it into a hammerlock and wrenches on it there as well. Great power in the ring right now between these two guys, and King making sure it gets experience with that clothesline. Clubbing blow from behind. Woods doesn't come off his feet though, but he does take a massive stumble face first into the turnbuckle now. Uh-oh, not looking good. Up in a torture rack position. Just dropped to the mat there. Nothing fancy about that one. Everything painful though about it. Woods getting up to his feet. King just kind of watched on. But again, he can't take King off his feet right now. That may change though. Good flurry of strikes. Clothesline. And King comes off his feet there. Woods able to turn things around. This now has him by the throat. Oh, sweet Jesus. Incredible transitions from Josh Woods on King. Slamming him into that mat there. But Brody King able to respond right away. What a lariat. Followed through with it all. Nothing fancy about it. Just brute power behind that one. Cover on Woods. It's an early kick out. These two guys still have plenty to give in this one. Oh, what a belly to belly from King there. Woods unable to get a breather in this matchup right now, just in huge trouble. Big chop up against the chest there, and Woods comes off the ropes now and is able to counter with a DDT on King. Josh Woods now starting to fight back a little bit. Incredible counter there from a man of his size. Can't get the double knees in the corner though. King gonna make it pay. Uranagi slam, just all power from Brody King in this contest so far. Thrust kick in the gut though by Woods, and I think that's the problem that Josh Woods is having to endure. King is almost reading all of his offense here, and he is just making life oh so difficult for him. Josh Woods kicking away at the leg though, with King perhaps trying to take him off his feet a little bit now and use that to an advantage. Twisting back suplex, and King comes off his feet again, but not for much longer. Woods lifts him up. Yeah, great belly to belly suplex from Josh Woods. Covers Brody King, but it's a kick out. This is much more of a hoss fight than I was anticipating in all fairness. Brody King though not making life easy for Josh Woods at all. Knee in the gut. Forearm in the face. King does a great job of staying up on his feet. Wait a minute. Josh Woods. Oh, sweet Jesus! Belly to belly over the top rope. King could be out of it. He could be concussed. Could be unconscious. Josh Woods. Oh my, are you kidding me? King up to his feet before Woods can even think about a cover. German suplex right away, but the ropes there to aid Brody King. Thrust kick in the gut now by King. How is he still up on his feet? Tell me how. And outside of the ring, these two men will scrap. Into the barricade goes Brody King. Not once, but twice there, courtesy of Josh Woods. In the ring we go now. Woods has turned things around. That belly to belly. That must have taken so much life out of Brody King. Shamrock applied though. King now is, I think he's genuinely looking for a moment to breathe in this contest right now. He's looking for an opportunity to recover and maybe assess the damage from that belly to belly. Woods not going to give it to him though. But oh, King, maybe he doesn't need that rest as a huge running splash in the corner connects. There was nothing fancy about that one again. Just a huge strike and another lariat in this contest. Another cover made, another hope for victory, but another kick out from Woods. These two guys have just thrown socks at one another from the very start of this match, and I've loved every moment of it. Gut wrench. Power bomb from King. The transition into that was seamless. And Woods seems out of it, but King will ensure it with the all-seeing eye. Brody King covers and beats Josh Woods. Well, that was fun. I enjoyed that one immensely. They threw scraps at one another, but in the end, Brody King leaves with the victory. Josh Woods gave it everything. He threw an awful lot in return at King. That belly to belly would have ended most men, but not Brody King, who claims victory here tonight. Folks, we have our main event of the evening coming up just in a moment, but as for right now, there is an announcement to be made from the NXT General Manager. Then we have our big main event. And wow, indeed, a huge pair of announcements made from Logan Wayne there. Rush versus Itami will happen at Takeover Chicago, but on top of that, Charlotte and Mayu Iwatani to represent NXT in the women's Money in the Bank ladder matchup next Sunday at Money in the Bank. That is a huge declaration there from the general manager. That is a huge chance for those two women. Wow, wow, wow. Takeover set then. Lio Rush against Hideo Itami for the global title. Io Shirai against Rhea Ripley for the women's title. Broken Brilliance against the New Foundation for the tag team titles. Toni Storm versus Shayna Baszler. And then the main event of the evening, Jeff Cobb versus the man that EC3 is going to have to take on here tonight, Brian Cage, for the NXT Championship. Takeover Chicago looking to be a huge evening. NXT has come a long way. And now, as it almost gets set for another new era, so many of the memorable names of NXT no longer on this brand. The likes, of course, of Tyler Bate, really, the last one to move on to the main roster. But now, what a horse fight we're in for next weekend. But what an opportunity it is for EC3 here tonight as he locks horns one-on-one against Brian Cage. This is not going to be an easy contest for EC3 at all. He's well aware of that, but if there's anyone who can rile themselves up, if there's anyone who can give them the confidence necessary to walk into this matchup here tonight and walk out with victory, it is going to be EC3. So here we go. He stands in the ring. And this is what he awaits. The theme hits, and there he stands. NXT Championship finally in his arm. Brian Cage makes his way out this evening. Cage probably heard what Cobb had to say last week, but he didn't care because he was fighting Pentagon Jr. Now he's had a week to think about it, and I gotta imagine he still doesn't care. Brian Cage is in his own element. He's in his own mindset. He hasn't said a word since he arrived to NXT. He's let his matches, he's let his actions do the talking instead, and I imagine he will do exactly the same next weekend at TakeOver Chicago. Cobb can effectively try and talk the talk all he wants, but Brian Cage isn't interested in that. He's interested in the bell ringing, the fighting starting, and himself walking out with a well-earned victory. Brian Cage has not been pinned or submitted since he arrived to NXT. No one has kept those shoulders down for 3. No one has forced him to tap out. Could that all change in Chicago? Could that all change here tonight? We've already seen the distractions work here this evening. Is Jeff Cobb willing to try that here against the Machine, I wonder? I very much doubt it. I think Jeff Cobb is going to wait until either after the match, or he'll wait until next week, or even Chicago, to share the ring once again, or to make a statement towards Brian Cage. These two guys know what is at stake. These two guys know what they're representing. These two guys know how much they're going to have to sacrifice at Takeover to walk out with the win. Jeff Cobb has the feeling that he can leave with the NXT Championship. Brian Cage already has the NXT Championship, and he has no intentions of letting it go anytime soon. It is our main event of the evening here. EC3 and Brian Cage, strap yourselves in. And here we go. Go behind now by EC3 on Brian Cage. You're not too certain how this one's going to work out for you, Cage. Knocking on the door of 300 pounds of pure muscle. This is not going to be a nice matchup for EC3 at all. He's going to have to prepare for a lot of punishment if he wants to try and be the one to break the duck egg, to be the victor for the very first time over Brian Cage by pinfall or submission. Knee into the face there. EC3 trying to act confident in the face of undoubtable trouble. Forearm in the face now by Brian Cage. He's starting to fight back here. Knocking him down a little bit there. Back elbow countered. EC3 gets in a quick few strikes here. Oh, but it's all taken away from him. Cage ducks that one, and what a lariat. Took him right off his feet there. There was nothing that EC3 could do to stop that one. Cage now firmly in control over the man who sees himself in the top 1% of one half of perfect. Up on the second rope, moves out of the way there. EC3 a little bit hopeful, maybe a little bit of an opportunity now as he gets a lariat in the back. Good counter though, good shoulder tackle, and down goes EC3. Lifting knee in the face. Brian Cage, as I said, he lets his aggression do the talking. He lets what he can do in that ring do the talking. And all of a sudden, EC3 is finding out how impactful and how painful that can be. Counter there by Cage once again. Spinning, violence carry, cutter. EC3's own finishing move effectively used against him. Cover made, now try and put away EC3, kick out. Chinlock being stitched in once again here, wearing down EC3, keeping him pinned down, keeping Cage in control of this contest. EC3 just got to try and find a way out of this hold right now, got to try and find an opening to jump on. That's basically all you can hope for against Brian Cage. What you really have to do when you're in the ring with Brian Cage is think, if Tyler Bate couldn't beat this guy, yeah, who can? Forearm in the face now by EC3. Has the arm of Cage. Not working out there. Socked with an almighty forearm. Turned around. Saito suplex there right in the top of your head for you. Not a nice impact at all. Brian Cage twisting that breaker there. And things are just going from bad to worse for EC3. He may have had a bit of hope heading into this main event, but it's all seeming to dash away from him now as Brian Cage just runs away with it. EC3 still trying to fight back though. Go behind maybe? No. Cage denies it. And another Saito suplex for your troubles. That must feel even more sickening when it's Brian Cage the one who's doing it. Hobb though number one contender, going to be watching on, going to have a close eye on everything the Cage does in this ring. Think, yes, Tyler Bate may not have been able to do it, but I can. That'll be the mindset for Jeff Cobb. That's the mindset he needs to carry into next weekend, into TakeOver Chicago. Oh, God. Brian Cage up on the top rope now. What a headbutt right in the chest of EC3 to put it away. There's still life left in him. Somehow he gets the shoulder up, but there's not much in the way of offense for EC3 right now. Back elbows, staggering EC3. Fair play, doesn't come off his feet, but he is launched off it there, courtesy of that back suplex. Lifts him up once again. Discus clothesline, folds EC3 inside out, upside down. One move to go to claim victory, and one move that could be the fate of Jeff Cobb. Come TakeOver Chicago, up on his shoulders, drill claw. This one is over. Brian Cage, your winner in the main event of NXT. Cage has beaten EC3, and on his way to his first title defense, can Jeff Cobb try and do something to put a wrench in the works to stop Brian Cage in his tracks, to be the first man to beat the machine and leave Chicago as NXT champion? Cage is more ready, I think, for this one than he was for Tyler Bate. This is the NXT champion, and there is his challenger. Cobb making his way towards the ring now. And here we go. The penultimate NXT before TakeOver. Champion and challenger sharing the ring with one another. What could happen? Oh, Cage! Cage went to swing at Cobb, and he paid for it. Cobb with the counter. And Cobb sends Cage out of the ring. Cobb said he was looking to throw a wrench in the works of Cage. He may have just done that tonight.